when I think about segment 3, I agree that one of the things that I've always been a little concerned about in our profession is what I call kind of boutique landscapes, where somebody tries, oh, I'm going to make a habitat, an oyster bed here, and I'm going to make a floating marsh over here. And
the size of this room.
Yes, or smaller. And I begin to think, well, will that really work from an environmental standpoint? Will anybody get it? And how hard will it be to maintain because it's not really sustainable? And are you just doing it to make yourself feel good, or you wrote it, you can write it in a design award. So while I really like that boardwalk segment and what you said, it's very brief, it's almost on the edge of being a boutique, because
a vignette, I think, is fair.
Thank you. That worked better.
But so let me defend it for you, because what I love about it is the highway is principally experienced through the accelerated speed of a highway, and I love the way it collages into the other pieces. I mean, for me, coming out of Brooklyn, I get off the Brooklyn Bridge and I whip around the Battery, and I'm going. You probably go to New Jersey as much as I do for work, but like that's a road that I'm on a couple times a month, and I love it anyway. So it is a vignette, but I think it's a great one next to the highway. Well,
it's unfortunate. I mean, when we were conceiving of the master plan, we were trying to figure out how, if somebody enters the park at any point in those 5.5 miles, how do they know that they're in Hudson River Park? And then on the other hand, how do we kind of respect and highlight the context of the different neighborhoods that feed into it? So the idea was that there would be certain elements that would be continuous: the railing, the pavement,
the lights,
the lighting, and that was pretty much it. We did, but then unfortunately, the client chose what those elements were going to be. So that's kind of where we fell apart. I think that one of the reasons that Hudson River Park doesn't seem to win awards, because it's also not won other awards that I've submitted for, which is sad. And I think that we
re-entered unsuccessfully this year on our own. I don't know if you entered.
Yes, but have we unsuccessfully re-entered? Yes, us too, join the crowd. I think one of the problems is that it doesn't have the same...
It's not edgy.
It's not edgy, and it doesn't have environmental sustainability
embedded
into its philosophy.
All that China stuff that they want to give that award to every year, you don't operate that way in America. That's just, we have a completely different set of strictures and guidelines and limitations that completely shape the work that we do, for better or worse.
Right, absolutely. And I know that you had horrible times with DEC at Brooklyn Bridge Park. I mean, it's a miracle that you were able to break as many rules as you did.
Yeah.
And I think that to me is one of the things that why I respect you so much, is that it's beautiful design in the end. It's experientially a beautiful place to be, but it is also, and again, because I've tried to do those things, sometimes successfully, those deals, to see them really happen. And that is how I think we're really going to move things forward. When by things, I mean political things, mental things, attitudinal things, is by seeing that how these can work. For years, people thought, you can't possibly do that on the East River. The currents are too great, the floatables, not going to happen. And you proved that it worked.
Well, I've taught a long time, and Vassar and Smith have each generated an extraordinarily disproportionate number of landscape architects. Like somehow, and maybe it's the beauty of Vassar and the beauty of Smith, but I think it's something more. I think it's the part of the educational ethos. I'd probably put Wellesley in the same group. I'd love to hear about your experience as a as a Smith girl. No, I mean just as as somebody who went to Smith, and how did landscape get on your horizon? Was it connected to Smith, or was it because of your parents, or?
I actually think that I had gone to Smith, originally wanting to be a choreographer because I was trained as a professional ballet dancer. Then that rapidly got to be a useless idea once the Vietnam War got very heated. And actually Julie Nixon was in my class. And so I just decided that ballet was completely irrelevant, and I would, by the age of 35, be like arthritic and stupid. So then I decided, well, I needed to change the world, and by being I really wanted to be a Nader's Raider. And so political science was what I was going to do. However, again, sort of in the deep recesses of what goes on in one's mind, I had never been in nature before. And
Really?
Really. And
So Smith was that?
Smith was that, and I took up every single sport.
There's a funny definition of nature right there. Smith is a natural land.
Well, compared to man.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, okay.
I'm joking. You know.
So I took up every single sport: field hockey, soccer, because I wasn't allowed to do that as a dancer either. So just all of a sudden, like playing, swinging, and having my hair freeze when I would go back to the dorm from taking swimming, just like cold. That was so that influenced, I think, later on why I decided to be a landscape architect. But first, I had to finish the trajectory of political science, get accepted to law school, panic, and abandon ship before, and do construction in Colorado for a while in a commune, and then I straightened out and became a landscape architect.